After a sub-500 record last year, the boys from North Broad Street in Philadelphia have big aspirations for a successful season in the second year under Coach Fran Dunphy. But Temple will have to be at their best against 7th-ranked Tennessee. Coach Bruce Pearl has assembled an all-star lineup as his Vols embark on another run at postseason success. It's a brand new season of college hoops beginning right now on FSN. University of Tennessee poured about $20 million into the Thompson-Boling basketball arena, and the results are marvelous. New skyboxes, new scoreboards, but the same crowd, over 20,000, will fill up this massive structure tonight as the Tennessee Volunteers open up the 2007-2008 season against the Atlantic 10's Temple Owls. Hello, everybody. I'm Dave Neal alongside the coach, Eddie Fogler. So glad you can be with us as we kick off this basketball season. I'm excited. The folks around Knoxville are excited, and for good reason. And there's a good test tonight in this building as Temple comes in. Coach, a sub-500 season a year ago, but they have two outstanding players.
Well, they have two great players, Dave.
Yeah, those two guys scored almost 40 points combined per game last year. Now, as far as Tennessee goes, we know they can score some points. Bruce Pearl certainly has reloaded a roster. He returns 4 starters from a team that went to the Sweet 16, but it all starts and begins with number 5, Chris Lofton.
Well, Dave, maybe the best scoring guard in America, certainly, I think, the best shooter in America. A career 44% three-point shooter, a career 84% free throw shooter, but he has learned to take the ball to the basket. He's also their team leader and the focal point of every defense that Tennessee will see all season. And then, of course, they've got the new player, Tyler Smith, a transfer from Iowa, back to his home state here in Tennessee. Was a third-team All-Big Ten selection as a freshman at Iowa. He may be the best newcomer in the Southeastern Conference.
Well, this Tennessee team didn't need to reload. They went to the Sweet 16, but they certainly have plenty of talent, and that is the aspiration of their coach, Bruce Pearl, and that is to move a little bit further than the Sweet 16 here in 2007-2008. And it all gets started. Temple and Tennessee starting lineups are on the way. We're taking a look at a new $3 million scoreboard, part of the renovations here at Thompson-Boling Arena. And Temple has gone through some renovations. They've got a tremendous freshman to keep an eye on tonight.
Well, Savoy Allen has outstanding skills, Dave, and a tremendous savvy for the game of basketball. And for Tennessee, Wayne Chisholm put up unbelievable numbers last year in only 19 minutes of play. He was the Vols' most consistent big man.
Well, this will be an interesting matchup tonight as we look at the two starting fives, and I think, Deontay Christmas will have his hands full with Chris Lofton, but I'm also waiting to see how Lavoy Allen can handle some of the inside presence of Tennessee. The Volunteers making their way on the floor at Thompson-Boling Arena. We're just moments away from tip-off Tennessee and Temple. Tonight's game between Temple and Tennessee is brought to you in part by Chevrolet, by Advance Auto Parts, and by Dodge. We are back inside Thompson-Boling Arena. Dave Neal along with Coach Eddie Fogler. Glad you could be with us on FSN. You look at the series history. The last time they met, 1973, and that score is correct. The Vols were averaging over 89 points going into that game in December. Temple scored 70 the night before, but that was the final score, 11-6. Let's hope we don't have one of those here tonight.
Well, it's possible Tennessee can have more than 11 at the first TV time.
That was a pre-shot clock, but that was the last time these two clubs met. I think the game has changed somewhat since then. Well, Temple wins the tip. They're in their road cherry uniforms. Little dump down inside. Sergio almost, the 7-footer, lays it up and in. Good start for the Owls.
Excellent possession, Dave, moving the ball side to side and a good high-low.
Then the turnover off the hands of Ramar Smith. Samaj Inge. And a hand check.
The side. Very difficult to guard a team that can switch sides of the court with the basketball.
Cross-court pass. Good catch on that far side by Inge. And a takeaway by Lofton. Wayne Chisholm thinks 3, shoots 3. How about that to start your year?
Well, and Banks 3, Dave. I don't think he called it. Not a particularly good shot, not in rhythm, but Chisholm gets it off the board.
Tennessee, a team that went 24-11 last year, while Temple went 12-18. Chisholm the rebound. Off to Jawan Smith. Now Ramar Smith. Ramar thinks three. Off the iron. Tyndale the rebound. Tyndale averaged almost 7 rebounds a game last year. Takes it to the basket. He lays it up and in.
Well, you can see the talent of Tyndale, coast to coast, under control, to the hoop. Nobody there to take a charge for the Volunteers.
There's Lofton. Lofton struggled from behind the arc in the 2 exhibition games. He was 1 for 8 in those 2 exhibition games.
Better time, though, Dave, for someone who shoots it as well as Lofton. I'd be a little bit more concerned now with 3 quick outside shots by the Volunteers. The ball has not gotten into the orange paint at all in the offensive end yet.
Temple breaks the pressure. Inside it goes, a jam from Lavoy Allen, the 6'9" freshman out of Morrisville, Pennsylvania.
Well, Temple coming out with great poise and composure versus the pressing Tennessee defenses, and an excellent passing team so far are the Temple Owls.
And this is the first, but there'll be a lot of Tylers, Jawans, and Ramars instead of Smiths tonight.
Here's where Tennessee is as good as anybody in the country. Pressuring the inbounds pass, full court, spot throw makes it even more difficult for Temple. The best in the country, in my opinion, stealing the inbounds pass.
And nearly got one there. Let me just give you an idea. Last year, Tennessee forced 182 turnovers off inbounds passes, and 30 times their pressure caused a turnover, and they also caused 25-second violations. 25-second violations.
Those are staggering numbers, Dave, and then they rarely get hurt at the other end of the press, although Temple has made them pay once already with the Allen dunk.
Can't handle it. Second turnover by Temple here in the opening moments. But Tennessee in no offensive rhythm. Is that because of Coach Fran Dunphy's defense to this?
More of a quick shot selection so far by Tennessee, Dave. Here's the best ball movement they've had by far in the offensive end of the court.
Jawan Smith. His three is good.
No, that's a screen the screener play. Smith sets a back screen, and then he gets a down screen for the open look. Best look they've had, and he bottoms it out.
Here's Inch, bounce pass underneath. Allen, boy, does he have some offensive skill.
That was nice. First college game, 20,000 or so. Number 7 team in America. Little jump hook by the freshman from Philly.
Temple 4 out of 5 from the field to start this game. Here's Lofton, guarded by Christmas. Takes it inside, forced the shot up. Rebound to the Owls. Here comes Christmas on the right wing. Inside pass, good look. Inge with the layup.
Well, Fran Duffy loves the savvy of Allen. Inge gets the layup, but how many 6'10" players in America could make that pass?
Pretty much guarantee you there aren't any 6'10" freshmen that can make that pass. Layup by Jawan Smith on the other side. He's got 5, and Temple's lead is 2.
And yet, Dave, give credit to Tyler Smith for an outstanding feed for the Tennessee Vols. Temple had the fewest turnovers of any team in the Atlantic 10 last year. They're an outstanding passing team, and so far hitting the open man.
Allen, coach, are you kidding me? He was playing high school ball a year ago.
Well, that's an awfully good righty jump hook, and another nice feed. So far, the Temple passing has been crisp and accurate, making Tennessee pay.
Draws a foul. Temple leading Tennessee 5-4. Coach, you had a chance to talk to Bruce Pearl, get some keys to the game.
Well, number one there is a no-brainer. That will be the key for everybody who plays Temple, stopping Tyndale and Dale and Christmas. The changing defenses so far, that hasn't taken place, but the pressure of the game is key, Dave. There's so much hype here about this Tennessee basketball team. The highest preseason ranking they've ever had, sold 16,000 season tickets. The luxury boxers are sold out. There's a waiting list. There could be too much pressure on Tennessee to perform. They need to adjust here.
And this is not an easy opener. You know, I think a lot of coaches in Division I, the collars got a little bit tighter after Gardner-Webb took down Kentucky earlier this week. And, you know, a lot of coaches are worried about their openers. And for Bruce Pearl, I mean, this is Temple. I mean, this is a big-time program he's opening with.
Well, absolutely. This is a program that's had great success over many, many years, and these kids know how to play, most of them from the Philadelphia area. Dave, Tennessee comes out of the timeout with 4 new players on the court. Lofton, the only starter on the court. We've got 4 new ones with him. The depth of Tennessee already starting to be a factor.
Put 2 freshmen on the floor as well. 2 guys we're anxious to see. And Brian Williams, 6'10" freshman out of the Bronx. And here's the other one that we're hoping to see, Cameron Tatum, the 6'6" freshman out of Tucker, Georgia. Here's Williams, back to Childress. Kick it out to Lofton. Tatum's 3, off the mark, no good. Allen the rebound. Allen, by the way, with 6 points. Temple 6 out of 7 from the floor. They have 5 assists as a team from 5 different players.
And so far, keeping Tennessee off the offensive board. It's been one and done for Tennessee.
And a reach-in foul on Jordan Howell. He will check Jordan Howell. It is a 5-point advantage for the Owls. Howell takes it off the back of the rim. Tatum got the rebound. Now Childress has his shot blocked by Almost. And it'll be Volunteer basketball.
The rebound comes off. And the big fella, he's not overly athletic, but has a long reach. Blocks the basketball.
Tennessee, 3 out of 10 from the floor. Tyndale to the basket, no good. Got right to the iron. Here comes Howell the other way. Tatum. Traveling with the basketball.
Left hand, my guess is he probably has a good lefty hook as well.
6 points, couple of rebounds. You see the turnover story. Here's Clark. Shot clock dips under 15. Brooks off to Allen. That was a 2. And it'll be Tennessee basketball.
A lot of minutes. Hard to play hard defensively playing that amount of minutes.
You know, while Tennessee on the other side, they scored almost 81 a game. That led the SEC. That was 9th in the country. But Tennessee right now has gone scoreless for over 2.5 minutes.
And inside to Chisholm, see if they can get him in foul trouble.
And a coach, you know, Fran knows how Tennessee plays. He's got a great scouting report. He's got to handle the pressure, got to get back, and of course, you got to make great decisions.
Chisholm working hard on the glass. Coach gets the little tap in. That drops that almost 3-minute drought. That's 5 points now for Wayne Chisholm, and it's a 14-11 Temple lead. Tyndale driving hard to the basket.
Almost out of the game. This is probably their best team to attack Tennessee's pressure. Pressing defenses in the half-court man-to-man as well.
Tyndale drives hard to the basket. Allen with the putback, no good. Here's Tyndale again. Allen, this is what Temple couldn't do last year.
Tennessee very lucky there. Temple could have scored 3 different times on that possession.
And an offensive foul against Lavoy Allen. That'll be the second on Lavoy. He'll go to the bench and bring in Sergio Almos.
And that's a big foul against Temple, Dave, the way that young man has been playing. He gets caught by Smith faking up and under, getting taken off his feet, and that's an offensive foul for a second personal.
Here's Josh Tabb. He fires for 3, no good. Chisholm, offensive rebound. He's double teamed. Smith fires. John Smith, who made 89 threes last season, has 8 points in this game. And here's that pressure, and there's another timeout. 30 times last year, their inbounds pressure caused a timeout. That's their first one of the 07-08 season.
Well, Temple is taking its time taking the ball out, Dave. There's two theories of attacking a press like Tennessee. You can jump out quickly with it to try to beat it right away, or you let your guard take it out slowly. You have one of your better passes trying to make the very difficult inbounds pass, and that's what Temple is trying to do.
Let's go back and look at Lavoy Allen.
Well, Allen's posting up on Childress, and they call him for what would be the swim stroke there, Dave. He has his arm extended out and gets Childress in the Adam's apple.
And, Coach, the reason we show that again is because that is a point of emphasis. It generally is, but there's been an edict sent down by the top of the officiating food chain, clean up post play. And that's an example of it. I think that's a message early to both teams that you got to be a little bit better in the paint. Tab, dump down to Childress. No good. The foul goes down for Chisholm.
Well, getting it off their press, and the crowd's getting into it now.
Josh Tab will pick up the foul. Josh, an excellent defender, will pick up his first. Bruce Pearl's club has taken a 2-point lead. Wayne Chisholm, a big reason for that. He's working hard on the offensive glass. He gets 2 more right here as the Vols take the 2-point lead. Tennessee leading Temple 16-14. We got 11:48 to go. You're looking at part of the new renovation here at Thompson Bowling Arena. Some of the sky boxes, and I mean, just a marvelous addition. Certainly shaping up to be one of the finest basketball facilities in the entire country. They dropped about $20 million into this phase. It's a 3-phase project. There are 38 of those sky boxes. They've sold out. As Coach mentioned earlier, season tickets are sold out. You cannot underestimate the value of what Coach Bruce Pearl has put into this program.
Unbelievable, Dave. As you indicate, you know, there's a pretty big football game here tomorrow, but today in Knoxville, there's nothing but talk about basketball and what Bruce Pearl has established here, starting his 3rd season. Incredible.
His club, though, getting off to a slow start, but now they're starting to pick it up, and I think it starts on the defensive end, which has helped them on the offensive end.
Well, and they've done it, Dave, with their second group in, perhaps, and the fatigue factor. They have much better depth than Temple, and this could be a huge advantage for Tennessee as they continue to press.
Temple's also turned it over 4 times in that process, where they've missed their last 6 shots. Fran Dunphy, not a happy man. Of course, he had outstanding success. A lot of people might remember him at Penn, where he led the Quakers to 9 NCAA tournaments out of the Ivy League.
About 48 straight Ivy League wins at one point.
I know, amazing.
That is amazing.
Tyndale, boy, he is a physical player in the post.
Well, he and Christmas, outstanding pass by Christmas, are 2 6'5" guys who can really hurt smaller guards.
There's Ramar Smith with a nice drive to the bucket. Long inbounds pass. Christmas off the iron. Here comes Tyler Smith back on the floor out of Pulaski, Tennessee, a 6'7" sophomore.
Dave, 1-3-1 for Temple. First time they have shown the zone defense. Let's look for the Volunteers to get the open 3 or get the ball inside.
Stab, southpaw line drive, knocks it down. And Tennessee's lead is 5.
Great way to attack the zone. High post, weak side to the open shooter.
Tennessee's biggest lead of the game. Out of the corner. Brooks off the iron, tapped around. Here's Ramar Smith. And here comes Tennessee, folks. This is how they play.
Well, they're just coming at him now in waves, Dave. Temple not making shots. They're getting the break going and the press becoming more effective.
There's Christmas. 3-on-2 Temple and an offensive foul. And Jawan Smith might have taken a knee, slow to get up. That's the 7th turnover by Temple.
Well, Christmas takes it to the hoop, and Smith steps in. Good call by the official. Obvious charge.
What do you think about that play? 3-on-2 situation. You like Christmas taking it to the basket?
Well, what you got to do against the press, Dave, to me, when you play Tennessee, is shoot the wide open 3 or a dead layup. If you don't get those 2 options, you must make Tennessee play half-court man-to-man defense where they need to get better. So, no, the answer is no.
I was going to say, the bottom line is no. Okay. By the way, you saw that Tennessee run. They have knocked down 7 of 8 shots. A foul on Christmas. That'll be his 2nd.
And
Back on.
Great depth for Tennessee, excuse me, Dave, but you know, one thing, I'm not so sure it's possible you could have too many players. It'll be interesting to see how they work their minutes out this year.
Well, I was talking to Coach Bruce Pearl about that just moments before the game today. I said, how are you going to work your rotation? He says, you know what? It's going to be a learning process the first few games. I don't know how many. I pretty much have an idea who my guys are, how I'm going to divvy up those minutes. They're going to have to earn them and play for them.
Well, competition in practice is a great way to get better, and there's certainly a lot of competition at Tennessee's practices.
Yeah, their practices must be something with all this talent. James back on the floor, took the extra step.
Temple not showing the patience that it had earlier. Winning the ball from side to side versus the Tennessee man defense. Temple one zone possession or 3-point play, and they're back man-to-man.
Jawan Smith into Tyler Smith. Double clutches off the iron. Loose ball on the floor. Boy, Tennessee has won the loose ball battle the last 5 minutes. Inge with the takeaway. And he missed the layup. Got hung up in the air. Williams the rebound. Jawan Smith tried to make him pay at the other end. Tyndale the rebound. Here come the out. Oh, nice ball handling. Inge through his legs. And then a hold on Ramar Smith.
He would say about that.
Here's Brooks. Nowhere to go. Jawan Smith in his face. It'll be Temple basketball with 29 seconds on the shot clock. 8:48 to go in the opening half. And Tennessee with this 7-point advantage.
And a fresh Tennessee defense, Dave, now starting to turn their defense up versus a tired Temple team, again, who doesn't have much depth.
Williams with his 2nd rebound. Here comes Howell back the other way. Tyler Smith up and over Brooks for the basket. He's got 3.
Smith runs the court, and Howell delivers.
Jawan Smith with a takeaway. Boy, Temple really struggling on the offensive end right now. Tyler Smith. Off to Williams. Lost the handle. Now by 9. And they've done it without that man. Chris Lofton in this game 0 for 2. He's attempted 1 3-pointer. Obviously missed that. He has 1 assist, 1 rebound. And you look at his numbers from a year ago. Trying to find his way. He's kind of been lost in the shuffle here tonight.
Well, you know, he's very unselfish, Dave, and the exhibition games were blowouts. Look at that switch out by Tyler Smith.
And then a foul on Clark. Will that be the intentional? Unabated to the basket. We'll wait and see what Joe Lindsey says.
And Smith switches out and catches Temple by surprise. I love the way Tyler Smith knows how to play the game of basketball.
Joe Lindsey will say that Chris Clark was actually trying for the basketball to knock it away, so it will be 2 shots.
Getting back to Lofton, I wouldn't be concerned at all. You know, that's just my opinion here. We know what Chris Lofton can do. So far, 2 blowouts in exhibitions. This game is 12 minutes old. When it comes to the end of the year, we'll look at Lofton's numbers, and he'll be an All-American.
You know, one of the things that Coach Pearl was talking about today, and it was interesting, he says, you know, I got to slow him down in terms of workouts. This guy's a workaholic. He said it won't be uncommon to come in here at midnight and see him shooting in the gym by himself. He goes, I can't control those things, and I've got to tell him, and I trust him, you got to slow it down.
Well, I agree. A young man can overwork himself mentally and physically, but he loves the game.
touched by Temple. It'll be Tennessee basketball. 11 Temple turnovers, but Chris Lofton is yet to scratch, and the good news is his club leads it by 9. 7:42 to go in the opening half. Tennessee out in front. In Knoxville, Tennessee, Dave Neal, along with the coach Eddie Fogler. Glad you could join us as we kick off some college basketball right here on FSN with a 25-16 Tennessee lead. And Lavoy Allen, the sensational freshman, Temple just stopped.
Well, they lost their inside presence, Dave, and they lost his flair for the game, and they don't have depth up front.
He checked out at the 12:30 mark, and 2 Tennessee run.
Nice backdoor opportunity coming out of the break, but unsuccessful by Tennessee. Let's see if we can have more poise and patience for Temple here on the offensive end.
Temple just has to, play intelligent basketball. On the road, you don't want to certainly lose your cool. You got to make some shots.
Well, they're missing easy shots a couple of these possessions also.
Freshman Tatum elevates. Boy, he can get off the floor in a hurry. Here comes Tyndale, knocked out of his hands by Childress. Boy, Childress really came into his own last year. I think he was known as kind of a bruiser, physical type player as a freshman. Last year dropped some weight, got a little stronger, and added so many dimensions to his game.
Well, the savvy that he brings to the table, Dave, really understands the game. Good passer, can shoot the 3 also in their kind of spread offense.
Temple's shooting percentage was first 10 minutes of this game off the charts. It's dipped down to 35%. Part of the reason, they're just one of their last 13. Wow. The good news is, if you're the Owls, you're only down 9. Even with all that, you're still very much alive with 6.5 to go in the opening half. And Inge goes to the basket, lays it up. He's got 6.
Too easy. Tough shot here.
Lofton off the front of the iron. Rebound pulled out of there by Ryan Brooks. There's Tyndale. Well, we have a blocking foul against Tennessee. For history, Christmas has no points, and Tyndale has 5.
Well, and we talked earlier, one of the things that had to happen, they would have to come up very big for Temple to have any chance here.
Lofton baseline, hangs in the air, shot won't go, but free throws are on the way. So we'll see if Chris Lofton can get his first points of the season at the charity stripe.
Well, I like this drive by Lofton for a number of reasons. Number one, he's been struggling shooting the ball. He needs something positive to happen, Dave, and going to the foul line is a great way to get off the mark if you're struggling.
At the line last year, Lofton exceptional, 81%. And he got there a ton. He was 129 out of 159 at the line. That is a huge number for a guard.
Well, over 5 free throws per game, and when he's shooting it in the hole and then he begins to drive, he's almost impossible to guard. The other thing he brings to the table, every defense is geared toward Lofton. I can't begin to think how many open shots the other players get at Tennessee because the defense is so geared to stopping Chris Lofton.
So Lofton will head to the bench with 2 points. Josh Tabb will come in, the 6'4" sophomore out of Illinois.
And Allen back in making that pass, Dave.
And Christmas trying to scratch. Can't do it on the layup. Boy, Tennessee got away with one. They almost got beat with the long out.
Fran Dunphy gambling a little bit here, putting the freshman back in with 2 fouls with a little under 6 minutes to play.
Chisholm no good. Jawan Smith to pick up the garbage. 10-point Volunteer advantage. There's a takeaway and a timeout. And here goes to that rule that was certainly brought in a year ago about players falling out of bounds. Cannot call timeout in the air.
I love that rule change. I think it's an outstanding rule. Smith on the boards. He averaged 15 points a game, Dave. I had no idea he scored that many last year. A very unknown, excellent scorer in college basketball, Juwan Smith.
Well, I think they're going to make the players come back out after a discussion. John Kay. And then off the inbounds pass, a foul on Allen. That'll be his third. Fran Dunphy wants a block. Won't get it, but a huge foul against Lavoy Allen. He was there from, I think, 1983 was his first season there. And a matchup zone, little slow, methodical game. And those are the kind of players that Fran Dunphy inherited. That's not his style of basketball.
Great point, Dave. I mean, every coach goes into a new situation. There's going to be some change, but I can't imagine more of an offensive, dramatic offensive change than what's taking place here at Temple, and as well defensively going from the zone back. A lot of the students are commuters. I don't know what percent would live on campus. Famous Bill Carsby, great alumnus. Probably Temple's most famous alum.
Here's Tapp, top of the key.
And here's good ball movement and patience by Tennessee.
Smith out of the corner. Juwan Smith is carrying Tennessee offensively. He's got 15 big points.
Very underrated nationally. Nobody really outside the SEC knows who Juwan Smith is. Best possession offensively there for Tennessee. 6 or 8 passes. The open jumper for Smith.
You and I think alike. I wrote down in my notes, one of the most underrated players in the country.
When I looked at his numbers, Dave, preparing for this game, I didn't realize it. And heck, I probably saw Tennessee play 6 or 7 times last year. There's
Smith on the floor. 13 Owl turnovers. Here's Juwan Smith. Picks it out. Offensive foul.
Before the charge, excuse me, where Smith gets on the floor and gets it to Howell.
4:21 to play. First half basketball. Temple got off to a great start, led by 5, but then at about the 12-minute mark, Tennessee turned it up a notch. And they have been in control on both ends of the floor. Minge to the basket, high arching shot, no good. Gets his own rebound and travels with the basketball. Minge is working hard, just doesn't have a lot of points to show for it.
He's been there, but he hadn't been able to get the ball in the hoop. Good offensive rebound, nice idea, but unable to get the ball back out. Very athletic player at his size. Good call by Joe Lindsay. Moved the pivot foot.
Ryan Williams, the big 6'10" freshman on the floor for Tennessee. He wears number 33. Here's Tyler Smith. No good. Loose ball underneath. Almost comes up with the rebound. Luis Guzman, the sophomore from Bronx, New York, will run the point.
Tennessee's defensive pressure here, Dave, has been the difference, in my opinion, in the last few minutes. I credit better pressure on the ball, but their depth is the real factor that's been in their favor. They're wearing Temple out.
Brooks now with a couple of baskets. He's got 4 points. How about 2 sophomores, 3 sophomores, and 2 freshmen on the floor right now with this Tennessee team. Here's Ramar Smith. Inside to Williams. Williams is fouled on the way to the basket. See who picks up that foul. Out. And that will be Tyndale's first. .255 to go. Timeout taken. 34-23, Tennessee out in front.
Well, Coach Dunphy in a real dilemma here with foul trouble on the big fella, Dave. His team is tired. Tennessee picking up their pressure.
Timeout. Tennessee leading Temple 34-23. That little lady inside the newly renovated Thompson Bowling Arena. And of course the volunteer fans, big weekend. Arkansas football team taking on the Vols tomorrow at Neyland Stadium. And the basketball season opens up tonight. The Lady Vols open up on Sunday. Big weekend. here in Knoxville. As Brian Williams steps to the free throw line. Williams, the freshman out of the Bronx, New York, gets his first collegiate points. Here's Brooks, guarded by Tatum. Off to Clark. Tyndale lines up a three, no good. Temple now 0 for 5 from behind the arc. Howell having all kinds of problems. And a timeout taken by Bruce Pearl. He saw his team in trouble. When Chris Lofton went down with a sprained ankle, a game you and I actually did in this building.
South Carolina.
And Lofton missed 4 games. And Juwan Smith kind of carried this team. He averaged 21 points, shot 50% over those 4 games that Lofton was out. Who knows where this team would have been without that man.
Well, he's become a big-time player, Dave, and was not a very highly recruited player at all out of high school.
Here's Tatum. He was pretty highly recruited. He gets introduced to Almost, who blocks the dunk attempt. Tatum, the freshman out of Tucker, Georgia, just down the road from where I live. Had a chance to talk to my homeboy.
There you go. You play some hoops in the school.
Yeah, I don't think I play with the caliber of guys as Cameron Tatum. What gave it away?
You're on the golf course.
Columbia is a safer place tonight since you're not hitting any golf balls today.
I cannot deny that. Wow.
Shot clock winding down, a rebound to Tab. Off to Howell, he'll try another three. His second attempt no good off the back of the iron. Tennessee from behind the arc. 5 out of 14. Foul on the inside against Howell.
The second team 10.
He demands, he keeps his players accountable. You better work on every possession.
So the lead is 11. Here's Tyndale. Off to Clark. He's off the mark. Temple now 0 for 6 from behind the arc. Lofton. Layup. His first field goal in the 07 campaign.
Excellent body control, not to charge, taking it to the basket.
Lofton with 4 points, 2 out of 2 at the line. And now 1 out of 4 from the field.
Temple getting good shots now, but cannot buy a basket.
Brooks. Now here's Tyndale. Guzman turned it over. Boy, 15 first half turnovers.
Taking it to the basket and avoiding the potential charge that Tyndale was trying to take. Nice body control by Chris Lofton. Tennessee going to play for the last shot of the half.
Here's Lofton. Off to Chisholm. High arching shot. Off the mark. And a tie-up. Arrow will favor Tennessee, so they'll get one more crack at it with 1.3 seconds to go.
Actually, Dave, if I'm Tennessee, I'd rather have the ball start of the second half with only 1.3. But let's see, they've got something in. Let's see if they get a lob play. There it is.
To Chisholm. Left it short. The tip. Tip the basket. And this can be reviewed. And that is what our officials will do. They will head over to the official scorers table, take a look at one of our monitors. We'll re-rack it for them and see if the basket counts.
Nice execution, even if this doesn't count. The little cross screen underneath. Little for big. Little screens Chisholm. You throw it up. Great execution.
And that should count.
That was out of the tips. Out of the hand.
And the basket counts. Tennessee's biggest lead of the game comes right now at the break. They lead it by 15, 39-24 over the Temple Owls. We will come back with our halftime activities here at Thompson Bowling Arena. Stay with us on FSN. Tennessee is being brought to you in part by Ford. Tennessee leading Temple by 15 at the break. It's our Chevy halftime report. Dave Neal along with the coach Eddie Fogler. Over 20,000 fans in this newly renovated building, and didn't get off to a good start for Tennessee. This Temple team came out led by 5 with about 16 minutes to go in the first half. Then their stud Lavoy Allen, the freshman, gets in foul trouble. They went 3 for the last 20 down the stretch. Was that poor shot selection or was that good defense?
A little bit of both, Dave. Tennessee's defense got a lot better, but as I indicated before, the depth factor is huge here. Fatigue can make cowards of us all, and Christmas was a non-factor. He's got to play if Temple has any chance on the offensive end.
Part of the reason Tennessee able to take this 15-point lead and kind of respond to that early charge by Temple was Juwan Smith. Coach, he took over offensively.
Well, he's making the threes. He's really into the game. Lofton has not really scored much, but Smith's a proven scorer, Dave. He's an outstanding three-point shooter. He's a sneaky good offensive rebounder, and he can play. He's a very experienced player, and you know he can do it. He can light it up.
Look at our first half statistics, and you see Temple yet to scratch from behind the arc, and they shoot 33%, and that includes the 15% over the last 16 minutes.
Well, the points off of turnovers, that's incredible. Of course, Tennessee, again, as good as anybody pressing, particularly on out-of-bounds plays, and Temple has not gotten anything easy, and when they've had open shots here, they have not made them.
If you're Bruce Pearl in that locker room right now, what are you talking to your club about?
Well, first of all, he wasn't happy, and I'm not sure why going off the court. I'm talking about continuing to keep the pressure defensively on Temple, continue to wear them out, and also hopefully get them in foul trouble. I'd go right at Allen early in the second half.
Well, it is the opener. You got to cut your team a little slack, don't you?
Well,
no, no.
Depends.
I'm trying to defend these guys. You know, that's what I do.
There you go.
Well, the fans are happy. It's basketball season, and they got a football game tomorrow. We'll come back with more of our Chevy halftime report after this. Segment from Under the Lights, a show where we documented a day and a half before game and game time with Coach Bruce Pearl. You coached this game for a long time. Is game day, I mean, is it a stressful time, the entire day for a coach? I mean, do you wake up just thinking, oh, man, I hope we got it together?
Well, my day wasn't like Coach Pearl's. He has a unique personality, Dave, and has the unique ability to connect with kids, to turn their lights on, to get great effort.
Well, he gets it, it seems like every single night with this club. In 2+ years, they have gone 46-19 under Bruce Pearl here in Knoxville. They lead by 15 at the break. In Bowling Arena as we continue with the Chevy halftime report. The Volunteers in the locker room up 15. We'll be back on the floor in a matter of moments. You see Mike Hamilton, the athletic director here at the University of Tennessee, as a big ceremony, I guess, honoring a lot of the folks that were involved in putting this renovation together. It's just stage 1 of 3 down the road, and a big night for Tennessee basketball, to say the least. And we take a look at our leading scores, and Lavoy Allen, the freshman, led the way with 6, coach, but then he gets in foul trouble. He has 3 going into the second half.
Well, and Deontay Christmas, their leading scorer, Dave, not even on that board. No way Temple can win without his input.
And Chris Lofton with just 4 points, only 1 field goal in the first half. We will come back. There's second half basketball on the way. We've got 20 more minutes of college hoops. Stay with us. Just seconds away from second half basketball, where the 7th-ranked Tennessee Volunteers lead the Temple Owls. Attendance tonight, 21,817. I've done a lot of these games when there have been less than 10,000 in here.
Well, it's a happening here now, Dave. This place is a happening for college basketball.
We take a look at our game summary and the points off turnovers. You indicated big number, you know, Allen and Lofton. But, you know, how do you get, if you're Temple, how do you get Christmas involved in the game? I mean, you look at Lofton with, you know, he's got 1 field goal. I mean, I guess it goes both ways. How do you get Lofton involved? How do you get
Well, you don't need to have Lofton involved with the depth that the Tennessee has, but Christmas has to get involved. I'd run something for him, maybe an isolation or something, one-on-one. Try to get him to the foul line. He needs to get off and get on the board.
floor with those 3 fouls swiped across the wrist.
Before, he's a terrific talent, and a young man has already proven himself at the high Division I level. Maybe a little nerves in his first time out here in Thompson Bowling.
Well, here's Christmas. Leonte gets it off to Allen. Here's Inge, who I thought played a pretty good first half. A lot of energy.
Very active, yes. Flat ball screen.
And a 5-second violation against Temple. And Fran Dunphy just shakes his head. What are we doing, he says. But there's Christmas, coach. He came in last year averaging 20 points a game. Shot 46% from the field, 40% from behind the arc, 87% at the line, and he can't do anything offensively.
Well, he's had very few opportunities, Dave. He's had very few opportunities, Dave. Give Tennessee credit. Bruce Pearl is excellent in his preparation and taking a player out of the game. They've been denying him the ball. If you don't catch it, you can't score. As Lofton shoots an air ball down here while we're talking.
Christmas 0 for 4, 3 turnovers. Here he is. Looks for a shot at the elbow. Blanks it off the rims. The new rims in this building. That rim to our right will be loosened up after that Christmas jumper. And a foul on the inside. Is that Allen? If that's Allen. Nope, that'll go against Almost. And of course, he makes his way back here. Did not have to sit out. For those of you not familiar with his story, his father was very sick and passed away back in September, and he came home to be with his father, closer to his father. He grew up here in the state of Tennessee, and the NCAA, in circumstances like that, grant you a transfer without having to sit out a year, and that's how come he is here at Tennessee.
Signed by Buzz Peterson originally, and really didn't want to come to Tennessee once Buzz was let go.
Our man Smith, Tyler Smith, hits Ramar Smith.
He can do a little bit of everything, Dave. 18 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists versus Indiana as an individual performance last year.
Allen is pass batted away by Chisholm. That pass knocked away. Boy, Tennessee getting a lot of hands in the basketball. I got a feeling that Bruce Pearl might have talked to his guys about being a little bit more active on the defensive end.
Well, I think so. Particularly at the end of the half, they were, kind of letting up a little bit. But the hands are a big part. Deflections. Bruce Pearl charts deflections in each game. There's a goal for his team to deflect X amount of balls each time they play.
Christmas got it. Not only did he get his first basket, he got Temple's first three-pointer and makes it a 13-point game. Back the other way, Ramar Smith. That's a tough shot high off the window. Christmas the rebound. Long outlet to Inge. Won't go. That shot's blocked by Chisholm. Here comes Lofton. It's a 3-on-3. Kicks it out to Jawan Smith. He fires. No good. The boy Allen with the rebound. Tyndale spins. And a traveling violation. Off the foot of Christmas.
Nice set play, backdoor for those who are going to deny Lofton the ball.
Juan pulls up. Little 7-footer, no good. Allen the rebound. Wow. The boy Allen has
Snatched. That was pretty good, wasn't it, Dave?
I mean, he is an excellent rebounder. He's got 7 of those tonight. He's been in foul trouble most of the evening. Now he pulls up, knocks down the jumper. Are you kidding me?
Very smooth. In his skills, Dave, he's a power forward. If Temple could come up with another big guy, a true 5-man, you could play him easily at the 4.
Well, Coach Dunphy was anxious to see how his freshman would handle the bright lights of an opening game on the road in a place like Tennessee. And I think he set quite a bit. There's another freshman big man, Brian Williams, the 6'10", 267-pounder with his first field goal as a Tennessee Volunteer. Christmas can't get that three to go down. There's Lofton wide open. And a foul on the loose ball.
Tennessee fans, you're watching FSN South.
44-31, Tennessee leads it, 15:47 to go in the game. Just had our Ford edge of your seat play of the game as Chris Lofton, the senior, drives and finds the freshman Brian Williams for his first career collegiate field goal. Our Ford edge of your seat play of the game. And as you see Brian Williams, 33 there, interesting story. Now, folks, get used to Brian Williams because he's going to be around for a while. But he did not start playing basketball until 2005. That's because he weighed 374 pounds. Okay, that was 2 years ago. He has lost 107 pounds. He's down to 267. And he didn't start playing until 2005 when his older brother, who's a lot smaller than he is, told him if he didn't get off the sofa, he was going to whip his backside. So he decided, you know what, you're right. I'm sitting here on the sofa eating all this food. I'm not healthy. I need to do something. So he started playing basketball just 2 years ago.
Well, and not only has he started playing 2 years ago, Dave, he's pushing Chisholm for starting here tonight. That's how well he has done in preseason. They are extremely high on him. Great hands, good touch, good passer.
I say, can you believe it? I mean, it really is an amazing story that 2 years ago you're sitting on the sofa weighing 374 pounds and you're about to step on the floor as a scholarship player at the 7th-ranked team in America. And he goes, I know. He goes, don't talk anymore. I know. Leave me alone.
Told you he never went to a camp. Probably never played in an AAU tournament. Winds up going to Harmony Prep in Cincinnati. Here he is today.
See, the late, great Ray Mears passed away this past summer, but that game got so bad that the president of the university, President Bowling, demanded that his Tennessee basketball team, when the game was over, play a 5-minute scrimmage just to appease the fans who were throwing things on the court because it was a stall game. Both coaches wouldn't get out of this 4-corner game.
Tennessee wouldn't send Temple its check for the game for a year, Dave. I mean, they said they didn't play. Why do we have to pay them?
Tyler Smith with that basket nearly got the steal. Yeah, it took a year for Temple to get their $10,000 check. Yeah, Ray Mears was a little hack. I don't think our two guys here, Fran Dunphy and Bruce Pearl, I don't think they'll ever see an 11-6 game. Boy Allen back in the game. The boy guy averaged 13 points, 10 rebounds a game as a high school senior, rated as the 13th best center by Rivals.com coming out of high school. Got 8.7 rebounds in his opening collegiate contest. There's Christmas, and a fall-away jumper off the back of the iron. Smith up ahead, it goes to Tabb. And a push foul underneath, count the basket. Free throws on the way for Josh Tabb.
You know, Dave, Tyler Smith really hasn't scored a lot of points, but little things. He rips the rebound down. He has the presence of mind to look up the court. Nice rebound, excellent assist, strong young man. He had a great steal early in the game, switching out. He knows how to play.
And we'll get credit for his 4th assist of the game as Tabb steps to the line to attempt to complete the three-point play, which you can't do, but has a chance for Tennessee to add to their lead. Knocks down the three. 51-34, 17-point lead, biggest of the game. Here's Brooks. Christmas. Guarded by Tatum. Here's Allen. They'll swing it around to Brooks. Allen at the elbow. Off the mark. Good defense from Williams. Came out, got a hand in his face. Howell in the corner. Tabb. Oh. Tatum hanging in the air. His first collegiate points.
They come at you at waves, Dave. Temple basically playing its starting team for the first 7 minutes of the second half, and Tennessee going 11 and 12 deep.
And a push.
Happens to stay in this game. Not enough firepower, particularly up front.
That foul actually goes against Williams. That'll be his third. Off the inbound, Brooks. There's Lofton. Tennessee on a 9-0 run. Brooks better get out there. We saw last year Lofton can hit that shot from the T or the E in Tennessee. He did it against Texas in one of the great college games of the year in this building last year. Kevin Durant and Chris Lofton went toe-to-toe. The Vols able to come away with a victory.
Kevin Durant off to a fairly good start at the next level, by the way. Unbelievable.
Here's Lofton. Get it off to Juwan Smith. Brown really wants Lofton to get it cranked up. Chris 0 for 4 from behind the arc, just 1 of 6 from the field. 5 on the shot clock. There's one of those fall away threes, left it way short. Loose ball. Tennessee scrapping. Come away with it, and Guzman with the tie-up will be whistled for the foul.
Well, that is tremendous effort by Tennessee. 3 or 4 different players going after the loose ball on the floor. 1, 2, and the deflection. 3.
Third team foul against Temple. Here's Juwan Smith. And a foul on Guzman.
Coach Dunphy maybe ought to look, although they're down 9th, a quick ball. And perhaps they could get back in the game. But at this point, it's going to be very difficult.
Here's Chisholm. Ramar Smith. 21-point lead, 6 points for Ramar Smith. Temple hasn't made a field goal in 4.5 minutes. And again, they've only attempted 4 shots in that frame. Tyndale can't get it to go. Allen loses the handle. It'll be Temple basketball. Timeout on the floor. 11:41 to go in the game.
Right there, but again, I would have no concern if I'm Bruce Pearl. He knows what Chris Lofton can do. Everybody in this building knows that. Again, at the end of the year, let's check his stats. They'll be right where they've been in previous seasons.
Let me ask you this, though. He comes in, and a lot of attention's been focused on him since he got here. But, you know, SEC preseason player of the year, the leading scorer a year ago. I mean, so much is focused on him. How much does that weigh on a guy like him? He's a senior.
Well, there was a lot on him last year as well, and he came through. We got 15 NBA scouts sitting over here watching this game, first game of the year.
Timeout on the floor, back in a moment.
People ask if couples on the eHarmony commercials.
Back inside Thompson Bowling Arena. 21,800 on hand in this opening game for Tennessee and Temple. And the Vols lead at 55-34. Many of the folks anxious to get in this game to check out the new renovations. And here's one guy that has renovated his body over the last couple of years. But he's also been a tremendous shooter since he has stepped in. There's one thing that has not changed with him is his ability to shoot the basketball. And that's Chris Lofton. Here comes Temple. Boy, they're having to work hard to get a shot. Tyndale with an offensive rebound. That pass knocked out of bounds. It'll still be Owl basketball. You know, we were talking about Chris Lofton moments ago, and tonight his struggling 1 out of 7 from the floor. But the opener last year against Middle Tennessee, he only had 6 points. He was 2 of 6 from the floor. Nice basket inside by Guzman. He came back the next game, had 30.
I'm I'm not worried, Dave. I don't know anybody else is. You know, history will repeat itself, I assure you.
Here's Chisholm. Spins, got held by Guzman, no whistle. Off to Jawan Smith, fall away off the side of the backboard. Tyndale, nice ball fake, finger roll won't go. And then a reach in by Tyndale.
That was a heck of a play by Tyndale.
Let's talk about a trivia question. In '73, when these two teams played to an 11-6 game, you know what the NCAA records that were set that still hold true tonight? Fewest combined points, 17, and fewest points allowed. Can you imagine if you paid some money to go see that game? Nice play on the other end as Christmas takes it to the basket.
I'd want a scrimmage after the game as well.
You know, Dave, thinking as well here for Temple, I think best team in America on their court, but to be prepared with 4.5 weeks, 5 weeks of practice to play against this type of pressing defense. All coaches work against presses, but to see this caliber press on the road, tough matchup for Coach Dunphy in their first game this season.
So Christmas now getting on the board. He's got 7, make that 8 all in the second half. 2 of 10 from the floor, however. Here's Ramar Smith. Tyler Smith, nice look at Chisholm.
Great interior pass, and that young man's a heck of a passer.
On the shot clock. Here's Christmas. Off to Guzman. Goes baseline. His layup is short. Almost. Off the back of the iron. And Lofton will bring it up.
Tennessee in a very spread offense, a baseline flex where 3 players interchange going across the court. Spread the court, able to drive the ball if Temple overplays or overpressures.
Shot clock at 6 and a foul on the floor against Clark. Coming weeks, months. Smith left it short. Temple has it. You know, that's talking to Bruce Pearl. They blew a 17-point halftime lead to Ohio State last year in the Sweet 16 to get bounced. And he says he won't forget that loss. His players won't forget that loss. The fans won't forget that loss. To Tyler Smith. That gets 21,000 on their feet.
That was unselfish, Dave Neal. He could have laid it in himself and just flips it up for Smith, who completes.
Welcome to Knoxville, Tyler Smith.
He can take it to the hole, Dave, but out of the corner of his eye, he sees right there, he sees Smith coming and just floats it up. And the best thing I saw was a bench that erupted, and Duke Cruz was the first one off the bench. He hasn't played today, but he really enjoyed that play. I like seeing that from Cruz.
Duke Cruz, sophomore this year. He and Wayne Chisholm playing in the post last season for Bruce Pearl. Twisted his ankle, of course, suspended for about a month, and twisted his ankle. He's only practiced like 3 or 4 times, and he's going to have his work cut out because Brian Williams has been playing so well, and of course Wayne Chisholm will get his minutes. It's an 18-point lead. Biggest lead of the game has been 21 by Tennessee. Temple had a 5-point lead 4 minutes into this game, and Tennessee's defense forces another turnover. That is 20 against the Owls. Time for our Dodge drive of the game, and wouldn't you know it, Chris Lofton to Tyler Smith. I think that's worthy of the Dodge drive of the game. 3 assists for Lofton tonight. There's Smith, hangs in the air, fouled by Tyndale. Done the last 15 years. I don't see many coaches being an issue. I do say this though, sometimes coaches get a little over emotional, and I think that there's something to trying to temper that emotion on the bench.
I agree with that. Here's Tennessee on a run with the press, getting baskets and just wearing Temple down.
I mean, I think you know, emotion is great, passion is great, but sometimes it gets a little out of hand.
Well, to me, if a coach embarrasses an official with something he says or how he gestures to an official, that's an automatic technical.
Well, to me, the coach ought to be able to be himself and coach his kids if he's not showing up an official. I don't see how they're going to enforce it uniformly throughout the country. I think it's impossible to enforce.
It's nice verbiage anyway, right? Sounds good in theory.
Well, the good officials don't need, they can control the coaches. I'm not so sure it's not there for those who are not strong enough to officiate it.
Tyler Smith misfires. Boy, these rims, once again, I got to tell you, these are new backboards, new rims, and they are quite tight. I didn't have a chance to shoot today to loosen these things up, but these things, you can hear them. I mean, there's not a lot of spring in those things.
Well, you do know as a great shooter how many basketballs can fit through a basket?
I only need one, brother.
Well, do you know if you took two basketballs side by side, what happens? They fit perfectly through that hoop. Two balls can fit through a great shooter like you didn't.
I've never got up high enough to test that theory.
I'm not talking about dunking. Oh, that's true. You got to get on a ladder. Okay.
Here's a look at Tennessee and what they have coming up.
Bruce Pearl takes on all comers. Give him a lot of credit. He'll play anybody. Of course, they always have that great showdown with Memphis. This year it's going to be during the conference season, not in December as it was last year.
Well, that was talking about an electric environment last year with that Tiger team met up with the Volunteers.
Pretty good basketball here in the state of Tennessee this year.
Vandy's going to have a pretty
Very
good team.
Good. Belmont's been to 2 NCAAs in a row. Rick Byrd has another good club.
Shot clock down to 10. Here's Ramar Smith to the basket. Layup is good. He's got 10. Second ball in double figures tonight. Juwan Smith has 15, but none in the second half. Here's Clark off to Christmas. His jumper in and out. Williams the rebound. Ramar Smith spins. And an offensive foul.
Clark seemed to me reached around and almost pulled the player to the ground.
Tennessee leading by 20 over Temple. Volunteers trying to improve on that 24-11 record. They went 10-6 a year ago in the SEC, made it all the way to the Sweet 16 before losing to Ohio State. They also have a 16-game home winning streak on the line tonight. Look like they're in pretty good control. They continue that. As you look at Lavoy Allen, the freshman from Temple, he's had a nice game today. You know, we talked to him to give us a rundown. And you just look at that schedule. 11:30 lights out, 7 a.m. he's back up. I like the part in the middle of the day when he had a chance to take a nap. That was big.
That was your best class.
I excelled at that. And then toward the end there, right before lights out, he said you got to eat again. That's another part of the schedule I said that I could really handle. And a hold against Tennessee, but I mean that is a long day. This is you know.
That's a very, very difficult schedule. You know, the Atlantic 10 is very good, but the non-conference schedule is brutal for Temple.
They got Puerto Rico. They got Providence and then Arkansas or Charleston.
I was over, saw Coach Kremen's team practice a couple of weeks ago. Very athletic, got a good young basketball team. Gave up TV to go back to coaching. I don't know what's wrong with that guy.
We'll see him a little later in December as they go over to South Carolina. There's Brian Williams. Hard to believe that young man has only played 2 years of organized basketball.
Freshman to freshman. He's going to be real good, Dave. They're incredibly high on him. Bruce Pearl and his staff do something very well. They do a lot of things well. Another thing they do very well, they identify talent as good as any staff I've seen. They don't have McDonald's All-Americans out here, but they got the 7th-ranked team in America.
Juwan Smith, a classic example.
Almost a walk-on. Maybe was a walk-on his first year. Excellent evaluation of talent, and that's part of being a good coach.
To the basket goes Christmas. Free throws on the way.
Understands what's the concepts, which is really unique for not only a player his size, but a player who's played less than 3 years of basketball. Look at that catch, pass.
Juwan Smith off to Howell. Under 5 to go.
See, I like it when Tennessee doesn't force when they go on the break and they set back up and move the basketball. I think they're a much better offensive basketball team when they show patience. Childress.
First basket we've seen that had any kind of roll on it. Dropped down.
Well, good patience equals good shot equals 2 points.
He is the 9th Tennessee player to score tonight. Here's Guzman. Jumper from Christmas is good. Timeout taken by Fran Dunphy. You know, one of the things I like, and I like the fact that they still love it and live it and breathe it, is the Big Five basketball. You know, it's a little conference amongst the Big Five around Philly, and I just love that.
When I was at South Carolina, we played St. Joe's home and home, and it was an honor for me to take a team into the cluster. Great tradition of basketball.
Here's Chisholm on the run. Oh, if that had gone down. Childress follows, but whistle before that.
Dave, as we talk, Tennessee, their depth is outstanding. They can withstand injuries. Down the end of a brutal schedule, their depth's going to come to play too, Dave, because they're going to have fresh legs. The questions, I think, are team chemistry here. You know, you got 200 minutes to divide up among a lot of good basketball players. If these players can buy into the team concept and understand it's all about winning, they've got a real chance to go a long way. I still think their half-court defense has to improve. Now, the master over there, Bruce Pearl, is about as good as anybody in defining roles.
There's a look at that bench, and you know, I'll be anxious to see how these minutes play out. I mean, I think that there are a lot of guys over there that, you know,
winning cures a lot of problems. As long as you're winning, you don't hear a whole lot. You know, if Tennessee loses 1 or 2, you never know what goes on inside a locker room.
There's no question he has stockpiled some talent.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Dale off the front of the iron. And a loose ball foul underneath against. Taking a look at some of the plans for the state-of-the-art basketball practice facility called the Pratt Pavilion. It's actually still under construction, but open for practice for both the men's and women's basketball teams. Cost $16 million, and it is a marvelous facility. Just working on some of the facade issues outside of Thompson Bowling Arena. And Pat Summitt and Bruce Pearl certainly love that. You know, so many coaches have been clamoring for that. I know Georgia has a brand new one. Most of Kentucky has a marvelous one as well. So many schools have them now. As a coach, what does that give you?
Well, Dave, it gives you a chance to practice when you want, because you don't have conflicts over the use with the women or perhaps volleyball. Secondly, it gives you a different look. I always like to practice in the practice facility before I played on the road, to give me a different look, different venue before I went away to play with a basketball team. It gives you an opportunity for your players to come in individually and never have the facility being used by someone else. And the biggest thing it says to recruits, we're serious about basketball.
Right.
That's what it really says.
That's where I was going with that. Guzman working on Howell. Nice move to the basket. Boy, nice one-on-one skills.
A little surprised here that Bruce still has Lofton and Juwan Smith in this game with a 20-point lead with 3:30 to go. I thought by now he'd go to his bench.
Approaching 3 minutes to go. Here's Childress in the lane. He got it to go down. That's 2 baskets now for Ryan Childress.
Nice little touch. Not overly athletic, very skilled, excellent savvy. Good piece of the puzzle for Tennessee.
Chisholm fouls Tyndale. Of course, he and Deontay Christmas, the second highest returning scoring duo in the country. Combined 39.4 points. Lofton fouled on the way to the basket. But tonight, Tyndale and Christmas have combined for 23.
That's not going to get a W on the road for Temple. For Chris to see if he can make one.
7 points for Chris Lofton. 1 of 8 from the floor, 0 of 5 from behind the arc. And that makes him 1 of 13 if you count the 2 exhibition games and this game to open up this season. Of course, you can't really count the exhibition. For our purposes, we will, because we can.
Dave Neal, you can do anything you like. You are Dave Neal.
That'll get you thrown in jail in most places.
What Fran's got here, to me, it's all about recruiting. It's got to get better players, more good players. Of course, he's in Philly. There are a lot of players there. He's a terrific coach. I think you develop Allen, Temple, and Temple will be okay there. And but they don't score outside the two guards, so it could be they were picked 8th or 9th in the Atlantic 10, and that's probably I don't know the league that well. That's probably where they could wind up. It could be a long year.
That ball was on the sideline, and Tyndale grabbed it. It'll be Tennessee basketball.
I mean, to me, a team like Temple shouldn't be opening up at Tennessee in its first game. To me, that's poor scheduling.
You know, Bruce Pearl went out and, he could be a salesman. He knew that this was going to be a newly renovated building and wanted to get a full house in here, wanted a quality opponent. And, he found a taker from Fran Dunphy, who says, much like Bruce Pearl, we'll play anywhere, anytime, against anybody.
Well, I respect that, and yet if I'm Fran, I want a couple easy ones at home before I come here.
Lofton with 9.
I guess Bruce has decided he's going to play Chris the rest of the way out just to see if he can get him some confidence, because he really got that funny look in his eyes when he's shooting the ball, Dave. It's not the confident look that we all know he usually has.
He is 8 out of 8 at the free throw line and has 10 points tonight.
Watch Tyler Smith move his feet on Tyndale much quicker than Chisholm.
He just checks in. Long on the 3. Under 2 minutes to go. Tennessee playing with their starting 5 on the floor. Ramar Smith to the basket. He's got a dozen.
Coach Pearl's son up and at him to get in this ball game.
Guzman off the window, knocks a 3 down, and a timeout taken by Fran Dunphy. But actually, what's been overlooked in this thing is Tennessee's running game is pretty good too. They got a good one, Arian Foster,
yes.
Montario Hardesty. I mean, it's there's going to be a ton of talent on the field tomorrow. I'm looking forward to doing that with Arkansas and Tennessee. Stephen Pearl checks in, redshirted a year ago, as a true freshman, getting some work. Tanner Wild also on the floor, getting some work, as is Rick Daniels, Mulholland. Williams spins and fires, knocks down the jumper. Craig Williams, another one of the freshmen on this Temple roster, 6'9", 240. Kind of a work in progress, but he provides at least some size for Coach Dunphy. I guess this is one of those games where wasn't great for this Tennessee team. from a coaching standpoint, it gives you something that you can really hammer your team with in terms of keeping their intensity of practice.
Well, he will. Bruce will show the tape, and he will. He's very positive for the most part with his team, but tonight my guess would be he'll show more of the negative than of the positive.
Well, Tennessee led by the 15 of Juwan Smith all in the first half. Ramar Smith with 14, Wayne Chisholm 11, and Chris Lofton with 10, but just 1 of 8 from the floor, 0 of 5 from the field, and Tennessee wins it in their opener in a newly renovated Thompson Bowling Arena, 80-63 over the Temple Owls. 21,800 on hand as Tennessee wins their 16th home opener in a row and their 17th consecutive game inside Thompson Bowling. So for many of you, stay tuned. It'll be Grizzlies basketball. For the rest of you, enjoy the best damn sports show, period. Once again, the final score. Tennessee wins it 80-63. For Eddie Fogler and the rest of our crew, I'm Dave Neal saying so long, everybody. We'll see you down the road.